this?
They just about... when I can get it out, give away with bloody cornflakes just about. That's the H-bridge, which you need to change over from, you know, forward to reverse, like changing the leads on the battery. What it does, it literally swaps the power round so the motors can go forward or backwards. These are about £2 each. Very expensive. I got 5 of them for something like £8, £9. I thought, why not? Because I'm sure to blow them up. But they're so bloody good that they just get warm. And you can feel the temperature rising if you connect the wire the wrong way around, you know, the power to it. It just gets warm. You think, jeez. Yes, bulletproof just about. Well, that's what's actually there on this. The reason I've got that, and these are connected to these, which are the servo motors, is, if I can swing it out, because of all things, the Raspberry Pi doesn't do analog very well. In fact, it doesn't do analog. You've got to sort of cheat by making a sort of a frequency. You've got to switch it on and off fast. Whereas the Arduino, which is that thing, I know, I dare disconnect it, another one. Disconnect it will actually do analog and digital. So this will actually power a servo quite easily. The Pi will do it, the only trouble is, it dithers because it's powered like being switched on and off pretty fast. When it reaches its point where it's supposed to go, the actual servo, which are these things here, no, we can't see it properly. The trouble is, it's just, the funny thing is, if anybody steps forward and tries to turn this, you can feel it's being held in that position with this, but it doesn't dither. Had this been a Raspberry Pi, that would have been trembling all the time. It sort of dithers around. Whereas now, with this being powered by this, now this thing is a Chroma servo controller. And that thing was like £8, £9. That's Swedish actually, a fellow from Sweden did it. And it's a bit funny with the, yes, you can use it with Pi, you can use it with C, but it's not up on making it, you know, a full program that'll do this, this and this, but yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, that's why that's there, and that's why that's sat on top. It just sits there and it controls it. Right, and that also is an H-bridge thing. That's 2 chips. Those 2 chips there do.
Okay, so just leave where it is, Tony.
That's oh, it's keep on forgetting what's there. These 2 chips there actually L293. They each one does which side. That one does, let's say, this side, and that one will do the other side because you can connect 4 motors to this. Disadvantage being it'll only do 600-700 milliamps. This is, which is probably okay for this, as long as it doesn't get caught up anything, in which case it'll stop the motors, hold them back, and the amperage will go up. I'm not sure what it'll go up to, but I think it's still below the 1 amp when I tried it once with a meter, just to see. I did slip up a bit. I got this cage thing here, this for the 4 motors, not realising if I can get it working. Well, I've had it running, but it doesn't turn very well. It's a lot better with the smaller one with two driving wheels, and a little skid at the back, because it does actually spin on itself. Whereas this is sort of resists a bit because of the weight. The idea I got this was to hold, you know, the power supply. Got two sorts. It'll actually run on that, which is just 4 batteries. But it's got 8, and that's a bit more powerful. And one of them, which is for running the Pi. You can change these connections at the back here, which is a little up there. You take that off and you put the power in on the end one, and it'll, off of, let's say, a battery like this, and it'll power these servos. But at the moment now, just 2 servos. That's because it will take 8 servos. Not that I've tried 8. I haven't got 8. I haven't got 8 servos. But it will do 8, and they're all independent of one another. Yeah. You sort of think, yeah, I've got 8. You think, what can I do with 8? That sort of thing. Oh, and this lot here was my first go, because they still, I thought, oh, I'll get the 2 chips. Now this basically, is similar to that. I didn't explain. The end chip is for altering it. You've got a row of connectors here. I'll just put my glasses on. There is a row of connectors. Yes, it's down here. You can change these and alter the whole idea. You can actually program it more like there's an Atmel chip, that type of thing, which is actually, Atmel chip is what runs the Arduino, basically. You know, the chip there. Disadvantages, I think, with the Arduino is it's not like the Pi where you can run and change the program, have it running a program. I'm not sure, but I don't think the Arduino, you program it and it'll do a certain sequence, but it hasn't. I'll probably tie myself in knots and get it wrong, but I don't think it's like a freestanding idea, you know, where you can put that in, program it and just run this. And because originally these are ultrasonic sensors at the front. There are 2 eyes. They're looking around. Yeah, they're the ultrasonic sensors. The idea being originally with the program was to run it, it'll go up to a wall and stop. I was hoping I could get it to look, to find out the easiest way out. But programming isn't my forte, really. And if somebody doesn't write it, I'm stuck. Back to this. Now this was my first try, and it's a maze of wires. And this is basically, I suppose, what's it? That. It's basically that. Has 3 wires. Now all these wires actually connect to the Raspberry Pi. I've had it sort of running. The trouble is, I've used this breadboard for so many different things. This was the same breadboard I had the running lights on. Quite a few months ago. You know, the lights were going round and round. Yes, that was the breadboard with it. And the sockets, the holes get pretty warm, and so certain things don't, you know, connect properly. So I had to give up on it. And I thought, yeah, it was Malcolm once where we went to all these raspberry jams, and I'd gone for a cup of coffee, and somebody came up and says, "What's that?" Malcolm said to him, he says, all those wires there are being condensed down to one of these. Really. Yeah, that's before and after. This actually fits on top of the Arduino. That's why the pins are a little bit different. But I stuck with the with this one, with the 298. Yes, because it's more powerful. There is another one while we're at it, which is this one. That was a really good buy, was that? That was £31. You think you get one of them for £2, paid £31 for that. That one is, I've tried running it, but the program just got a bit beyond me. It's different. You can actually run, which fascinated me, a joystick. And there's old, where you used to get Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
You'd have the USB joystick. Well, you plug that in, and that fits on the first 6 connections on the Raspberry Pi. Yeah. I think actually the best idea is to put that like that. You see, they actually follow. I keep on forgetting I've got a camera. A bit white to the front. That goes on, and that one follows suit, and that is white. And basically that's it, and then connect up the motors. The middle 2 are for power. One I've made black because to remind me that that's the neutral one. Yeah. That was the first one to yes. It still runs, but yes, and that actually surprised me. It did actually work. I've done a bit of messing around because you've got to figure out where the joystick comes into it. You end up with, you put a program in, or just load a program, you set the joystick going, and if you move it forward and back, it produces rows of numbers on the screen to tell you that which one operates which one. And at the bottom you've got a number, which, well, you've got a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And nought apparently was moving forward and backwards, and 1 was sideways. So I thought, hey, I'll be able to steer this thing. Only to find out that nought actually did work. Those wheels whizzed round suddenly when I went forward. I thought, yes. And I went sideways, nothing. And I thought, wait a minute, that's supposed to be 1, and yet it doesn't work. I looked at the thing, changed it, and had a look, but no, I couldn't figure it out. My brain didn't work that day. Not that it would anyway, because of the, you know, it was different, was the program. Slightly short, getting there.
So are the programs generally in Python, Terry?
Yes, this one was, but sometimes they're in C as well, but not very often. Most of them, they seem to stick to Python, except of course the Arduino. And now, this is not connected up. Right, now, let's stick. Actually, my desk is very similar to this. In the same condition.
It's not as bad as Malcolm's.
Well, the room which I sit in is about 6 by 6. You've got the Ionics, you've got a normal computer, you've got this, and you've got, yeah, no, then the laptop comes on, and yes, it is, it gets full up quite easily. Actually, when the write-up comes in, you'll realise why I stutter and stammer a lot, because I've never done this. My job never entailed anything like this. You know, explaining stuff to people, you know, like with people around. Mostly it was just mates sort of thing, you know, somebody arrived from a job, you know, they got the job and they'd arrive in the place where we worked and you had to explain, you know, what you did. But, oh goodness. And the other funny thing is, throughout my working life, I never used a computer as a job. Never used a computer at all. Although in the write-up I did say that the computer actually was in the machines, but basically, no.
The best one is the one between your ears, Terry.
That's right, yes. Yes. Yes, the job was looking after a bloody great press that used to shake the bloody foundations.
Was that for one of the local newspapers then, sorry?
No, it was, they used to forge,
From a different sort of press.
yeah, they were forging jet engine blades. And one of the blades they actually forged was the RB2, the front fan blades.
Oh, right.
Originally they were made out of titanium, then they tried carbon fibre. But the trouble was, they tried carbon fibre until a bird hit it. And the big blades were about 3 foot long. And bird hit one, and the whole thing just exploded. The trouble is, all the bits went through the engine, and it took the engine out. Where titanium, a bird hits it, it bends the blade, but it still remains intact. You end up with a wobbly engine, you just sort of switch off. But yes, so they went back to titanium. This, you had to hit it with something like, they used to go up to about 16,000 tonne in one blow, bang. And you knew it was running because the floor sort of vibrated a bit. And in the write-up, we did have a laugh because I'm looking for my glasses. Nearby, they were painting the bridge. And it was 2 colours sort of thing, you know, one bit, and then just to make it look better. And they were inquiring as to why it was that the bridge was jumping around. And one of the cheeky lads went out, and they sort of, you know what I mean, changing shifts. And they were saying, you know, what's up? What are you doing there? He says, it's shaking the bridge. He says, it's something to do with the San Andreas fault. Oh, right. Yes. Let's turn this upside down. Just to make sure I don't do anything silly. Yes, because that is right. That's right. So the neutrals are in the middle. Just to make sure. So there we go. Somebody who, you see, I've done this before. It's awkward. It is funny because every time I touch that, it's a little vibration because it's resisting being moved. Because it's handy having little fingers as well. So joked at work. In with his bunch of fifes. I've got to get that in. I'll try and get that over the top, which isn't right. It's a nuisance, but it's because the pins on this have got rid of it. is bigger than that wire. If I put them side by side, nothing happens because I've clamped that, but not that. So I found out the only way to do it is to try and feed one on top of the other. Just try sliding that in first. You'll be utterly bored by the end of this, of somebody talking to himself.
There's always somebody who works out.
Oh yes. That's the only way, you see, that has to have two. I've got to, let's say, earth this to the pi, or else it doesn't work. It doesn't make a circuit. And it's best of all, of course, I've got to keep these two applying apart. And this is the odd one out because I can't really leave it connected, and I could, I suppose, but otherwise it would be powering the pi while I'm bringing it. Actually, it might be better in the long run to have used the other battery, because that's got a like a connector on it. So that looks better. Watch, 10 o'clock. I suppose really what I ought to have done is soldered one of those pins onto the end of this, but
What have you got all together there? You've got pi, one board on top of it.
yes,
Is
there's
it
three.
just power on the side that you're doing at the moment?
That's right, yes. That's the board on top. With the two wires coming off, cables coming off, which are the servo wires.
Mm-hmm.
I have done this easier. So I'm just trying to think of this has been the awkwardest I've had to try and get this in.
I should have done it right today,
Yeah, yes, that's the. That hopefully should do it. Let's begin to push the wire in as well.
So where did you actually get the boogie base from? Which all wheels and
Oh, sorry. This, the actual base is from,
climb around here since.
I don't know if it's just a, suddenly it'll strike me, it's a name, now, probably see it on the, it's now lit up brightly. Before, there's a little light on it, and it's a dim light because the pi is powering it. Now it's lit up bright.
Right, sorry, yeah.
Quite bright is that wire there. Showing that it's getting power to it. And these two wires actually belong to the socket which fits that one. You know, the ordinary 9-volt battery connection. Right. Now,
You want to go back to the computer screen, right, Zach?
yes, go back to here.
Next
What I'll do is load it in.
The easy way.
Right, here we go. That was the... That's it. That there is the program you get with the Picoborg, which is this one with the white and so on leads. That was the expensive one. 1 million cents, but it's pretty good. I don't know if it'll do it. Just thinking about it. Maybe it's because it's not connected to one. Right. Glad it dropped out. It's because it's not connected. Okay. I've got to think which it belongs to.
So is this receiving things via Bluetooth as well as cables? You've got a little dongle that's lit up.
Oh, sorry, yes, that's just for... of course I haven't, it's not connected to them, but that won't be wrong. That was another thing I was going to do, but I can't. I've had to redo the computer that I usually use at home, you know, PC, with Linux, because that one decided it was going to mess up. It keeps asking me for Windows 10, which it won't load until the ordinary. It tells me I've got umpteen, not exactly full, so it just won't load properly. And it sort of says, this, that, and the other error on it. And I've looked them up and nothing conclusive. So I thought, because I was going to try it on the IoT, Internet of Things, but yeah. Genie, little light, blue. Oh, that's a thought. Yeah. This is the regional servo. That's what I've got to do is file open here. I have to motor test with a capital T. No, not motor test. Servo test with a T. Properly like capitals. Oh. View, open. That's it. Now these, what's needed to talk to this board, the Chroma. This is in Python. SA is the word. You can actually type it in, just go into the Chroma. I'm just trying to think, how is it? Oh, that's right, yeah. There's a program that runs it where you just type in SA or SAV or S whatever. But if I run this, Hmm.
Your antenna just moved around the antenna,
It is, it's controlling that.
Right.
Right, so what I'll do is do it again. Okay, enough. That's the three controls with it. That's the first one. So actually that's the speed of it. I just wonder if it, yes you can. Yes, that's the speed of it, which is SA with a V, which is velocity. And then you do the SA, which is the position, which is minus 100, minus another 100, slash the other way, and N, which means repeat, you know. Enter, that's right. So basically, that's what it's doing. That's one. That's the second one. I've had a sleep in between. Yeah, I wish. And so that it doesn't sort of sweep around. It just does the motions, and that's it. And to get it to finish, you can probably read it there at the bottom. That isn't a command at all, SERR. What it is, you give it a wrong command, it just stops. I'm not sure what I need to do to make it go round and round, but you know what I mean, over and over. You can tell how bad I am with programming. So what? Now I've got to get rid of that there. Pressing return. And that gets rid of that. Right. Now, I don't know. The reason I've stopped for a minute, I'm just wondering if it will. Before I've had a little bit of trouble with this going berserk. Again. Now hopefully this should bring up the wheels. And if I can swap over, I can sit it on the floor. Get rid of that. Bring up a new file. Open. This. That's one program I had a look at and I couldn't do it. The idea was, I thought, oh, that's an idea. I'll control it with this, you know, forward and back, left and right, you know, using, you know, the keys. But whatever I did, it didn't want to know. So somewhere along the line, I've got something wrong. Like motor test. Right. Basically, it's slightly wrong because it says, I'm looking around for, I packed it away. Right. Yes. When you get this, at the end here,
Just to swap back to go.
oh sorry, this doesn't seem a bad idea, I'm going to do it this way.
Okay. Just try this out. Okay.
Okay. When you get this delivered to you, you end up with these connectors on either side. And with the instructions it says, take them off if you're, unless of course you're using a stepper motor. If you use a stepper motor, you leave them on like this sort of thing. So I thought, oh right. So I took them off. And these are the actual ones I've got in red here, which is ENA and ENB, which is the enable, to actually enable it to, control motors and stuff. Since found out that if you're not going to use PWM, pulse width modulation, you can leave them on, because then it powers it and it keeps it high all the time, which is what you're after. And which was, I only found that out recently. I thought, oh well, I'm not using PWM on this. Now this, right, can we go back to the...
Yep. Remote controls a bit.
Yeah, no. It's things what I had to bloody well learn. That's the enable ones. Now these two have to be high anyway. What you do, which is, I'm not sure why, but you set everything up and you tell it that all output ones, which they are, they're going to receive information into them, not sending out information, which, now these two, to remember, is 1E and 2E, those are the enable pins. 1E has to be high all the time if it's going to run. And these two, which are the two connections inside, because you get 4. What you've got is the, sorry, it's only briefly, those are the enable ones, and these two are the information going in to what you want to do with the motor. So you've got 2 outside ones, enables, 1 either side for each side for each motor. And to get them to go together, one has to be low, one has to be high. That is the ordinary connections, the in connections. Low, high. And to change the motor around, you make it high, high, low, left and right. You just sort of change around a bit, have one way and one the other way. The idea was the wheels then suddenly start the other way to turn it around, but as you'll find if I put it on the floor, that it's very ineffective. It skids around a bit. Stop. And what they've done, of course, as I said, the 1E and 2E, which are the pins for enabling it, you swing it low and it turns off the whole lot, irrespective of what the others are. That literally just turns off the chip, basically. Now this should, by rights, start doing this, hopefully. And if I can do it over the top of this lead, what I've got to do I've never had such a bloody boring talk off this bloody fella here waiting on about bloody motors. But he's trying. Yeah, very trying. Now what's up this? I've got to go into roots, which is sudo Python. And the reason this is here is so I can read this bit, where the capitals are, that bit there. So now we've got capital N footer. It's underscore, I believe, yes. Between T, E, S, T. Well, I've done it before. I'm in the wrong directory. As you'll see, unless there isn't one there. Right, so it's back to Linux language. So it's CD, downloads, space. Now if I remember rightly, it's motor functions, motor. I've open this. Now that should have spelled something wrong. I thought it was all one word. I'll check. Is motor functions? It is. I'm looking to see if I've spelled.
Is the space right?
Hmm?
Is the space right? Change directory, downloads and then space.
It's just, anyway. Here we go, let's try. Give it a go. Let's do it. Now there is a way of doing it whereby I can go and pick up that pseudo-Python motor testing. Gamble. Yes. Yes. Oh yes. That is fast.
I'll take what's moving.
It's not in enough, is it? Tell you what. I'll put the other one in. What I'll do. Is hold it down. Now. Now. He's getting his power. What do I want? This usually happens, doesn't it? Ah.
Is it worth connecting that one with the PP3 connector?
Yes, I think that might be an idea. Trouble is, I've got to do this again.
Oh, good.
You know, try and get that,
What are you trying to do today?
try the battery out, make sure they're apart. This one can slide in, but now what I've got to do is just push that. The reason I've got this tucked in there is because it gets in the way.
Oh, right, it's driving
Normally
around.
it comes out and it's resting on the wheel, and I thought
Yeah.
it's going to get caught. Now, the thing that's the problem is the black wire, the neutral wire. It's trying to get that in with that. See, that's the neutral for, you know, the
Yeah.
pie sort of thing. And that, I have some glasses because it gets a bit. What I did last time was pop that in there
Yeah.
and lean it and put That's right, yeah, put that on top, hopefully. See, the only thing I can think of, the batteries haven't got enough power in them. I can feel it.
Can not strip the black a bit more and wrap it round.
Yeah, it's what I was thinking about doing. I've got 3 spare wires. Oh, wait a minute, I know what they are. They're doing the wrong thing here. The only way I could keep them tidy was to... You don't do that normally, do you? Bridging.
No.
No. What I'll do, I'll grab that one. Best bet, put them in there, that there. I'll get one of these. Hopefully I've got a male and a female. Yes, what I'll do, hopefully I can, that's a male to male. That's a male to female, here we go. Pink, yes it is. Right, what I'll do, I'll stick that in there. This is going to be a right hodgepodge. Now this, so I know this works because the motors are connected this way to the, 2 in 1 spot. They just work out side by side. Right. It'll go this way. No, it won't. It's got to come all the way through. It's such a good-ish fit because that's it. Weight against it. Push and push.
You were thinking?
Push and push. Would be the fact that I can't. I've got one on. I've got 2 on. Yes. Looks safe enough.
It's alive!
Right.
Now comes the worst thing.
We have every face in you, Tony.
Like a power.
It's remembering what I need to do without seeing it. Right. Turn this on.
So is this what the receiver bit's for?
That's it. Yes, this is just a what you call a keyboard. Just that's right. Just making sure it's running. Yep. So if I press that, all I need to do is disconnect. He says I'm looking at it and I can see. I know what I'm looking at. I'm thinking it'll have to go off and go back on again because I've got to connect this to it. Otherwise I'll be dragging this wire all over, the one that powers it. So now I've got to get rid of this lot. There we go. Down to the bottom, shut down. Shut down. Should be a little short wire. Yes, there we go. Right.
I have to just swap the take over on the other one. Right? So
That's right, going into total battery power now. That comes out. That's like disconnecting the mouse and the keyboard.
yeah.
And the last one would be the HDMI. I don't really like these because they are a bit awkward for somebody with average fingers. Yes. Go. Tell you what's funny, in some respects, this thing works all right. This thing works marvellous now with the Pi. Try and work it on the computer. You don't want to know. You think, weird. You know, the ordinary computer, just don't want to know. Come on. No, it's a bit sluggish as the mouse. Slide it over. There we go. Just try it. Oh, that's neat. But remember it even though it's been switched off. Right, here we go. Now that should suddenly burst into life, hopefully. Now the trouble is, we can't run around with the monitor, can we? Right. Am I connected to anything? No. And this one, step over that. And hopefully, I can talk for all this. Especially, I've just disconnected. Oh. I guess it'll do it that way. So I just bumped against this and disconnected the. Oh.
Just hang on a second, you change tape on this one now.
Right. I
You
see.
can get all the tape to run out exactly when you don't want it to.
The laugh comes, nothing's happening.
Well, you tried it on the box.
Oh. What the hell has been running on this? Can't do it that way. I can't do it this way. No, pattern on the floor.
That's the previous robots.
Yeah. Right, I'll just stick this here. And I'll connect that. Yes. Patience. Somebody forgot to bring it into the right directory. I got the right message, but no, the wrong directory. Click D. Yes. You know what I didn't do, of course. That's what I didn't do last time. Yeah. Been a lot better had I put in the right directory to start with. Yes, that's right. Now. Should I have a person to life and then on the floor? Right. Shall we try again?
Go on.
Funny thing is, the other computer, the one I didn't bring, you know, the other Raspberry Pi, has a fitted Gokran.
Yeah,
Whoops, that's it. Get me bouncing. Has a touch screen. I tap it now, I've got the stuff from. Right, well. How comes? Especially when this fell out. Oh. The stupid thing is, at home, I've hardly got anywhere to do this. You know,
How big is it fast?
not big enough space.
Can I go to PC World Car Park on a Sunday?
Yeah, just put it on the floor. Actually,
You don't reverse over it.
it didn't turn out too bad. I think what it was the fact it's just got newly charged batteries in it. But it's still not doing the thing which I was hoping for, you know, to actually literally control it using, you know, the keys. But
Just need to train it.
Yeah. It's only taken long to get this far.
You were hoping it would work its way around, weren't you? Like one of those lawnmowers.
Oh, I see, yeah. Oh, yeah, up and down,
Yeah.
yes. And so that's that.
Lorries, these drive themselves, lorries on the road
Well,
are okay.
Oh, aye, yes, sir.
they're still working out who pays in case of an accident.
Oh, that happened.
Oh, yeah. But they reckon in America the autonomous cars have only had accidents with other cars because it was the other car that caused the
Of
accident.
course.
That's what they tell me anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's their story, and they're sticking
That's
to
right,
it.
yeah.
Yes, I've got my mouse back. What I've done is just, I'll turn this off again. Ah. To put it mildly, this is nerve-wracking.
Nothing like doing stuff like
That is true. Right. One of the funny ones with this was the basic program which did all that. I then did another one, added to it. The idea being to try and use these ultrasonic sensors. But basically it's this lot with a bit added, tacked on at the end. So I got that. This was where it becomes a bit that's the teeter. It's motor test without it. That's a motor test. Oh, that's right, it's ultrasonic. What the hell is it?
Is it Robot Ultra?
Yes, it should be.
It's not a pilot, is it?
Ah. I'm not sure what that is. Oddly enough.
that. If you don't know, tell me we don't.
Hang on, let's have a look, see what I can make of it.
Lucky dip.
So I think you're spot on.
Should give them names like that one that works.
That's right. Yeah, these actually. Now, you can see, this is, as you can imagine, got their tray. Yes, this is my effort at trying to push two programs together. There we go. That's the end of the previous one, and that's the start of this one, which should be 4 wires under here. And that's that cable there. Now the funny thing with these ultrasonics, they work on 3 volts. They work on 5 volts. That's right. You can give it 5 volts to go in to give the beep, which of course you won't be able to hear, unless of course you're allied to a bat or something. But a receiving one, the echo, actually comes back as 5 volts. So this here, this fantastic bit of kit, is a voltage divider. It's not.
Sorry, yeah.
It's a 270 and a 470k resistors, and it comes off. The idea being, of course, one goes to earth and the other one goes through the centre to the actual pie, so it only gets about 3 volts coming through. But it looks a bit, it looks like it is. It's a bit of a mess, but
Ethan Robinson.
that's the word, yeah. Yes. But this I know doesn't work because there's all sorts with it which I haven't been able to figure out. I can see my idea if distance 5, move forward, but if less turn left, if still less turn right, go forward, check the distance and all that. That's to give me an idea on what I'm supposed to be doing, but do I know how to do it? No. No. I have enough trouble speaking English, let alone Python. So that was part of it. I was hoping you'd get one of those Weeks kids, you know, that come to the club to see these things and sort of say, oh, you can't do that. You've got to do this. And do that. But
Malcolm's not here tonight, is he?
no.
He's understands that sort of stuff.
That's an idea. I'll send him it. What's wrong with this? He'll go, don't send me any more.
Or he might reply everything.
Yes.
That's right, yeah.
Is a file extension important in Python? Because that's .ino. No, the other one's a .py. Now, I don't know if that is relevant.
Sorry, which
The
bits?
file extension, on your file name, the extension is .ino. Something like INQ.
Oh,
If it's not seen
oh,
as a
drive
Python.
one is.
No, the file name.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Is it not seen as a Python program?
yeah. Hang on. It should be pi, as you say, shouldn't it? PY. Yeah, it should be. Right. So what we do? Yes. I think we're going to do that way. I think we pick that off. And that one up. Right. Yeah, I'm right. I'm downloads. That's the thing to get used to. You watch, it's going to work, isn't it? Get so used to clicking on that, you know, for downloads to open it up. No, you've got to do that and that. No. Oh, that's desktop. Oops. Downloads, wrong one. Ultrasound. Right, there's ultrasound.
That's different.
Yeah. That's the original program. That servod was a program which I think it did a serial thing, which actually ran servos without being jerky. Right. But naturally, of course, I couldn't get that one to work either. So,
You were in multi-functions earlier, weren't you?
yes, that's right, I'm after. Yeah, motor sections and click on it. Where is it? Oh, yeah, no, oh, it hasn't come up, has it? Yes, because that is.
It's in Sketchbook.
I think this will need looking at.
In your own directory. It's in Sketchbook, you're...
No, hang on.
First one.
Oh, there's sketchbook. Well, that's right. This ended up in the wrong place, that's right. And, right, so what you do, The best idea is click on it, rename. Right, okay. And then my right in the head, I'll put it in the right place, which should be,
Downloads, multi-functions.
there we go. Functions. I wonder if it will. You think it will? Actually, try it.
Yeah.
It's gone anyway. Yes.
Yes. Right. So now we can get rid of that. Yes. And click on that again. Now this should be a right mess because it's got no end really.
It's not pretty though, it's in different colours.
Yeah, it does. In Genie, it comes up with all sorts, you know, different colours, all sorts. It gives you clues of what's going on. You know, this is where expected. Pi 976. Let's fill it out of the way so I can still see it. 76 says.
Don't give us a
76
date,
says
no.
blank. It's actually can be fun sometimes. You get an error on line 276 and you think, I've only got 10 lines. How does 76 become? Yes, I've had that once or twice. It's all look at and you think, there isn't anything there. I don't think there is.
You're not expecting something after the if. If the first part of the if statement fails, there's a consequence.
Yeah.
End or whatever.
No,
If
that's right, yeah, it's...
It's only got one.
We don't nothing there at all.
Yeah,
Only just
the
just
conditions.
comments, aren't they?
Yeah, if there's you've got a condition, but you've
Oh,
not
I see,
resolved
if distance,
You haven't got a limit.
they got nowhere, that's right, yeah.
what you want me to do.
So basically, if I... Oops, what I was going to do was... It's going to keep, even if I put one of them in front, and just remind myself that
Because all they're going to do is just effectively measure the distance, isn't it?
yes, I'm trying to look at, just thought, imagine
So
that.
could you not put, if distance is greater than 5, print 5, or at least it's got something
Something
to...
to do, that's right, yeah.
Print
sure
distance. Because it'd be more than...
Yeah, or print distance, whatever value we think it might be.
What's the units for distance? Is it 5 what, miles, inches, centimetres?
Squiggly dots.
Yeah,
5.
pythons.
So many pythons.
Print distance.
That's right, yeah. Is that called Pythagoras' theory?
Something Python agonised about.
Yes.
Funny feeling it wants to be in brackets, isn't it?
You've got at the top, it says waiting for ultrasonic to settle.
Print the
it prints out. It's just, I think it's rounded quotes.
Yeah,
Up the top,
print, yeah.
line 46 is just print with.
No, it is, isn't it? Just, oh well.
I would. What happens if the distance is less than 5?
Yeah. I think there's,
It explodes.
yes, that's right, yeah.
Goes to the wall.
Yes, I think this was, I did this and I thought, oh, crumbs, I'll have to try and get it so it actually runs something.
Put your print statement before the if statement. And at least you find out you've got a distance.
Yes, that was the idea of the move forward and all the rest, to give me an idea of roughly what I'm trying to do.
If you put the print statement before that if distance, then at least you know that that part of the program is working.
I
It's picking
see,
information up.
Or just, you can sort of,
What do I say, put,
well, you just, yeah,
Yeah,
up above it, just put another print statement saying I've got here or something. That's so at least you know where you are.
that's true, yes, okay, yeah.
does it need to be lowercase or uppercase for the commands? No one of these strange languages we...
And then once you get error, print error.
Yeah,
Although I can't guarantee.
Try it.
Okay, here we go.
your insurance is up to date, isn't it?
I've got to get rid of that, that's right. Otherwise it's not happy.
You got to so
Yeah.
far so good.
Yes, so I like the style, yeah. So it goes that far.
So centre one, what's wrong is distance is less than 5.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, very nice
Greater than
reason.
5. Carry on, no, still move forward, isn't it really? If less than 5, stop. Look left. Is distance less than?
It's the other part of the condition. Your distance, the distance the other way around.
Oh, I see what you mean now. Oh, I see.
Well, it's saying syntax error, invalid syntax, because it's
No, it could be out
it's
there.
after the so far so good. It's that little bit you've got there.
That's right, yeah, doesn't know what to do next, yeah.
You've not told it anything, have you?
Distance 2.
This is probably why we have a robotics division at Leeds University.
Spend the whole day batting the fly against the walls.
Oh, no. Yes.
If you got there, if distance is greater than 5, then colon. Should that colon be there, is it?
It's waiting for someone else, isn't it?
But it's not doing the print good. So,
So,
does it
that's
need
right,
that
yeah,
colon?
it's
Does
in, so it's
it
stopping
need
there.
that colon after 5?
Yeah. It doesn't seem right, does it, as you yeah.
Try and take the colon off the end of 5 on line 72. Just take the colon off the end.
And run it again.
Just try running that.
Close your window.
Close your...
So I've just got to get.
Then you should get a second print statement, shouldn't you?
Hopefully.
Assume it's greater than 5. No.
But is distance greater than 5 or less than 5? I think it's less than 5, that's why I can't.
Yeah. So,
Is he actually measuring the distance?
Try less than 5.
Yeah. Or put print distance in before that.
actually, that would be
Looking at it, whatever it is, it's miles away. You need to put something in front of your centre. It's trying to find space.
Yeah.
Measuring in light years.
It's a lot bigger than you think.
Don't need to start reversing yet.
Yeah, remember that.
Print
Now you've
distance.
got to
Yeah,
stop.
say put print distance before that.
Instead of so far so good, put print distance.
Yeah,
Then you know what you mean. Because you put, it's getting to there, rub so far so good out, and put the value of
just
distance
print
in.
distance.
The distance.
What is the value of distance?
No, not the word distance, the value of distance.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Will that just be distance out of quotes?
Tell them I have to
I thought
go
so.
more.
Right, if you have, can you print the value of distance? Not the word distance.
Oh, I see. The value of
Yeah.
the distance.
You put a comma in or something and then put distance.
Right.
Without
I
counts.
don't know.
I don't know what you do with
Yeah.
it.
No, the syntax.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll just look up, make sure distance is duration, distance, I've lost distance.
Your distance equals rounding distance, comma.
There we go, distance. Just make sure it's,
Rounded it to 2 decimal points.
Yeah, I would guess it's something like that.
Isn't it? I think.
Not two significant figures.
Try that. It's going to work it in.
I've got to highlight it, that's right.
It's printed the word distance.
What I'm looking at now is, oh, you can see it, can you?
You need to look at how the if statement works.
Anyway.
So, some way to go on the programming.
Yes, there's a bit to go yet.
If anyone's a Python expert.
I'm just wondering.
Like the parrot sketch.
Yeah. Very good, yes.
I've never seen such a bloody rubbish finished.
I had the same difficulty programming Big Track all those years ago.
Oh, right.
Do you remember?
I remember that donkeys years ago, yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Not sure total graphics are easy.
Save
It's like
that.
forward 7, right 3.
Oh,
Because you,
yes, save that and save. Round her done.
because you've changed its file type and different directory and all sorts of things.
Yes, I was just thinking. I can do a save as, but
It must
Do
have
a save as then. You want it as PY, don't you?
save it, it must have saved.
so it just got mind of its own for a minute. There we go. If I remember right, tell you what, I'll have a look. Last time. No, it isn't. The last time I found I couldn't save it, it's because I had one of those, like, black square, you know, the everything.
You've got the program on it. Yeah.
That's right, yeah. But apparently it's not that, it's not hidden away. Right, here we go.
Save it Ultra 1 then. Probably a good idea. Then you can go back, can't you?
That's true, yeah.
So we get ultra 2,223.
It still don't work.
That's right, it's still
You've got to do it
Alpha.
A1 through to 9, B1 through to 9. If you got to Z26, you've been there too long.
Yes. Okay, so I'm just thinking. It's going to take too long to take everything off of this to put this this on and connect up the motors.
It's 9:30 now, Terry. If that's going to take a long while, don't bother.
That's right, it will, it'll take a while because it's got to be in the way. I don't think it'll balance. And yes, and the power of the motors have to be changed on.
But the Arduino one actually retains the program you've loaded on it, doesn't it?
Yes,
That's
it
the difference,
does, yeah.
that the Pi is sort of live.
That's right, yeah, it's
The
a
Arduino
difference.
sort of puts it into battery background, doesn't it?
Yeah, because, yeah, that's right, yeah, the Arduino remembers the program you've last put in,
Yeah.
which of course the Pi doesn't.
Yeah.
Although it surprised me, it came up with the,
Yeah, you're saying, yeah.
considering it would have been switched off sort of thing. Yeah,
Your little buggy robot platform, whatever, where does that come from? Is that part of it?
oh, sorry, Dawn Electric, how about that? Straight up, I couldn't remember it before, Dawn Electronics.
As in DAW.
That's right, as in dawn, sunrise,
Early morning, yeah.
early morning. Yes.
Where are they based then?
I'm not sure. Not sure at all.
'Cause
I think,
there's-
if I remember rightly, dawn. I got this the next day. I ordered it, let's say on the Tuesday, Wednesday. I knock on the door and it's for you. I thought, good grief.
Yeah.
He must be the first. And
Oh, by the way, the four-wheeled one, they do a two-wheeled one. This is about 17, 18 pound.
yeah,
You just get this basically and not that. These are
yeah, all the rest
I
of
think
it.
about £6 or £7 more, a bit more. And then comes a kit, you have to put it all together, which isn't too bad. But yeah, and they do a two-wheel one, which is smaller, it's more triangular.
Yeah, so
And
that's got
a
like
bit
a
more
skid.
bevels on, that's right, yeah, more bevels on it. And yes, actually it surprised me when this spun round on the floor. When I tried it at home, I didn't want to know.
Ah, but was it on carpet?
No, actually it was on the flat floor. Jeremy's got a carpet, probably
Right, 'cause
flattened the battery in no
Well, that's the
time.
other thing, yeah. It is, because you were saying like the tyres
They
have a certain
didn't-
rolling resistance. So
Yeah.
you need enough welly from the batteries to drive the motor to
Mm.
get it
What
past
may have
it.
helped, you know, did get the cable track from the phone battery back up. Like,
Yeah.
maybe we're trying to, it lifted one of the wheels
Yes.
from the climb.
Mm. Yeah. Yes, it fell out. Because they do say, oh, use an elastic band, but I'm thinking I'm a bit stuck. Actually, that could have probably gone there on top. When I think about it, strap it down. Yeah, weld it in place. Super glue.
It's a pity they didn't make an axle, you know, so there's two bolts, so it can,
Oh, I see.
and then he will be able to steer it, wouldn't you?
Oh, I see, yes.
But the thing,
That's it, that is the thing, it's a bit...
well, this is what you're saying, it's not pulse width modulation, is it? Basically, it's cheating, it's full on, and you know, it's not really controlling it that much.
No.
It's really on off.
That's right,
Two forward,
yeah.
one back.
Like driving a tank.
Yeah, that's all.
That's right, yeah, yeah. It is.
Not what I've ever driven.
No. But you can drink.
Yeah,
Let's
so...
leave it at that then, Terry.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Well done, thanks.
Yeah. Very good.
Rock, helping you with Acorn and Riscos computing.